everyone. Good evening. We are about to get started, so please take your seats. 咁我哋而家就會開始，咁如果可以請坐。Okay. Good evening, everyone. My name is Jody Ng, and I'll be your MC tonight. Thank you so much for coming to tonight's town hall. We're very excited to have you here. Tonight's town hall is to help you connect with City Hall, local community groups, and so hopefully you'll be able to get something out of this. 大家好，我係 Jody，我係今晚你個主持。咁今晚咧，我哋好開心你可以參加今日個活動嘅。今日個目的咧係希望可以同你同啲市政府同埋幾個團體可以有個聯繫嘅。So before I continue, we are pleased that we're able to offer tonight's program in a couple languages, English, Cantonese, and Mandarin. So if you would like interpretation, you can get a headset over there at that table. And there are different channels, channel 1 for English, channel 2 for Mandarin, and channel 3 for Cantonese. 咁我開始之前咧，我係好開心今日個活動咧，我哋可以提供3種個語言。如果你要翻譯咧，咁你喺嗰個台可以攞個翻譯機，咁佢哋咧會有唔同個語言，有幾個台你可以自己轉嘅。咁個活動咧有個語言係會中文國語啦、廣東話啦同埋英文。咁個翻譯機咧，第一台咧係英文，第二台就係國語，第三係廣東話。如果你個翻譯機咧有咩問題咧，我哋有幾個學生會可以幫助你嘅。So tonight we've got some great speakers with you to share about the different services that City Hall can help you with and support you. You'll also hear from local community groups who will share their programs and services. The goal is to help you learn about different programs available for you to build a stronger community and help you understand what resources are available and provide an opportunity for you to connect with different people, groups, and resources. 咁今晚咧，我哋有好多唔同嘅人會幫你分享好多唔同啲服務。咁我哋有幾個團體會由佢哋分享自己嗰啲服務同埋自己啲活動啦。今日個目的咧係希望可以幫助你有咩服務可以幫你啦。同埋提供一個機會同你可以見面同唔同啲人幾個團體同埋學幾個服務啦。So I'd like to give a special shout out to the elected officials who are here tonight. We have City Councilors Karen Colon Hayes and City Councilor Carrie McDonald, both of whom were part of the planning committee tonight. We also have City Councilor Steve Winslow and Amanda Linehan, who are present today. And Ryan O'Malley, and City Councilor Ryan O'Malley. And additionally, we also have Mayor Gary Christensen in attendance tonight. So thank you all for coming here. 咁而家咧，我哋係好特別好感謝有幾個民選管員喺度。第一咧，我哋係有市議員 Carrie McDonald 同埋 Karen Colon Hayes 咧，佢哋兩個係幫助安排今日個活動咧，同埋咧我哋有市議員Steve Winslow、Amanda Linehan 同埋 Ryan O'Malley 都喺度，咁好感謝你哋今晚都嚟。第二咧，我哋都係梗係有市長喺度啦。咁而家咧市長 Gary Christensen 今晚都嚟。咁好感謝可以你哋全部都參加今日個活動。咁而家咧，我係想歡迎市長上台。Next, I'd like to welcome Mayor Gary Christensen to the stage, and let's give him a round of applause.
Some Fu Cup. Funyang Daiga. 我说牡丹市长后建新，祝大家新年快乐，祝大家新年快乐，祝大家万事如意，祝大家万事如意。多谢大家，谢谢大家。So let me just say that the United States Constitution has roughly 5,000 words in it. But the three that are my favorite is we the people, because that is what tonight is about. We, as a community, are working together to make Malden all that it can and should be. And the way we do that is with this amazing team here organizing this effort. So on behalf of our entire city, thank you for all the work that you have done to make tonight happen. So again, on behalf of all of us, we look forward to tonight, we look forward to tomorrow, and we look forward to our future working together. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Christensen。多謝晒市長。咁而家咧，下一個我哋想歡迎市議員Carrie McDonald。Next, I'd like to welcome Carrie McDonald to the stage.
Hello and good evening. I am Malden City Councilor at Large, Carrie McDonald. And if you are getting translation services on your headset, and it's working good for you, can you raise your hand? Good, yes? Good, okay, I just wanted to check to make sure that our translation is working. Our interpretation is working? Okay. We're going to take just a minute to make sure that we're working. Just 1 minute. May will. Okay, we're good? That's good? I think we'd also like to make sure the Mandarin channel is working. Mandarin is good? It's good? Okay. Okay. Well, if you have problems with your headset, please head over here and we'll do our best to get it sorted out. I appreciate everyone's patience. This is the first time the City of Malden has done a meeting like this with all of these technologies and all of these languages, and we want to make sure that everyone can participate. So thank you for your patience. I want to thank Rosetta Languages, who's providing our interpretation service tonight. So thank you to our interpreters. And I want to thank the Malden High School Civics Club, who is here helping out as well. So thank you to the Malden High School Civics Club. And a special thanks to our language access coordinator, Elena Martinez, who you will be hearing from soon. She's helped so much happen. So as a city councilor, I represent the whole city. I am in my first term. And one of the areas I'm focused on is inclusion and participation in the city. And so I want to spend some time giving you an overview of what the things are that the City of Malden does. There are many parts to our government at the state and federal and local level, and so I want to explain what it is that the city is responsible for doing. First, you may know these things about Malden, but I want to say we are a small city or a mid-sized city of about 66,000 people who live here. We are not a lot of land, only 5 square miles. And we have a large immigrant population here from many different countries. 42% of the residents of Malden were born in a different country. So that's very high, and that's why we take this so seriously. In addition to English, the primary languages we have started working with in Malden are Chinese, both Cantonese and Mandarin, Portuguese, Haitian Creole, Vietnamese, Arabic, and Spanish. And you'll hear more from Elena about our language access services in those languages. So what does the city itself do? The core areas of city services are our schools, which is our biggest department, Malden Public Schools, health and human services, emergency services, housing and development, infrastructure, so the things built in buildings and roads and our environment, arts and culture, and all kinds of licenses, permits, registrations, and voting. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about each of those areas. And we also work with other parts of the government at the state of Massachusetts and with the national government in Washington, D.C., and we do have someone from our representative, Catherine Clark's office, who will also introduce themselves later. So we work closely on issues that come to us but are not our job, such as immigration paperwork. That's not something that the city does, but we try to get people connected to the right person in another office or another part of the government to work on that. We have 3 types of elected leaders who are responsible for overseeing the city. We have our mayor, Gary Christensen. The mayor is the chief executive and oversees all of the city operations. We have city councilors like me, and we make laws called city ordinances, and we approve the budget, and we do some other things, including trying to help people navigate city government. There are 11 city councilors. 3 of us represent the entire city, and 8 of us represent specific neighborhoods called wards. So when you vote for city council, you can vote for your ward person and up to 3 people at large or citywide. And then we also have our school committee, 1 member from each ward, and the mayor is the chair of the school committee. So you have pictures up here. The top picture is the school committee, the bottom picture is city council, and you can see the folks that are elected to lead this government. And all of that is defined in what's called the city charter, which is kind of like the constitution of our city, and it spells out all the things that we're allowed to do. And that has to be approved by the state. So these are the elected leaders. So let's talk about these areas of city government. First, our schools. You probably know the school buildings, or some of them, in Malden Public Schools. On our school committee and Malden Public Schools superintendent oversee. Our school buildings are the Early Learning Center, so that's like preschool. We have 5 kindergarten through 8th grade schools: Beebe, Ferryway, Forestdale. I have 2 kids at Forestdale. Linden, and Salemwood. And if you live in Malden and you are a school-age kid, you have a right to go to one of these schools. We're required to make sure everyone can go to school who lives here, but some people choose to go to other schools that are not, of course, run by the city, like Malden Catholic or charter schools. We have 6,300 students across all of the schools in Malden Public Schools, so that's a pretty big school district. And there are lots of different types of support services for parents and students in our schools. And we also, for high school, if you want to study vocational education, which is like learning a trade or a kind of license, like you might be a landscape architect or a plumber or a barber, you can go to Northeast Metro Tech and learn those things in high school. And a number of school districts send people there. So this is an overview of our school department, our biggest department. I should say we will be doing a question and answer. So if you have questions about these things, we have good time in this meeting so that you can get more clarification. So in the area of health and human services, we have a public health department, and they set public health rules. And that is rules about how restaurants operate safely so that food is safe, as well as they offer vaccines, they offer other ways to help us in the pandemic. They made a lot of the rules, like when we decided masks were required, that was the health department that made that decision, and the Public Health Commission. So the Public Health Department has been very important in the last few years. We also have some specialized services. We have a senior center right downtown, which has lots of programs for older adults. We have a teen center that is in the same building with services for teenagers, wherever they go to school. And we have a veteran services for people who have served in the military. They can connect with our Veteran Services Department. And in addition to those departments which offer programs and supports, we also have a number of what are called boards and commissions that are people who live mostly in Malden, who volunteer their time or make certain decisions. So that includes our Disability Commission, which helps make rules and guidelines and improve the accessibility of our city, like whether you can get across the curb if you're in a wheelchair. We have our Board on Aging to help older adults have a better experience in the community. And we have a Human Rights Commission if you are being discriminated against in your housing or in another situation, you can go to the Human Rights Commission and they will talk with you. Emergency services, this is a big one that I think a lot of people know. These are the folks who respond when you call 911. So that includes our Malden Police Department, our Malden Fire Department, and our emergency management. The city does a lot of planning for if there are big storms or other problems, how all of the parts of the city work together. We're responsible for that. So those are our emergency services, a big part of the city's responsibility. Housing and development. The city doesn't build that many houses, but we do get to decide the rules about when houses and buildings can be built. And we have a department called Strategic Planning and Community Development that helps us make plans for where we want things to be built. You'll hear from one of the staff members from there today. They have programs to help you as renter or a homeowner, and they also support our businesses in Malden. We have a group called the Community Preservation Commission that gives money for housing and park projects and historic projects to preserve historic parts of the city. We have just this year a brand new Office of Housing Stability. And their job is if you are having problems with your housing, they can help you know what your rights are and they can help you try to find housing. They can't guarantee it, but I have sent people there and they have been very helpful. And there are, again, other boards and commissions that do other things, like the Malden Housing Authority, which oversees our senior housing buildings. They are separate from the city, but we are involved with them. And we have what's called the Affordable Housing Trust Fund, and they help affordable housing get built in Malden, because that is an important thing for us. Infrastructure and environment. Our Public Works Department are the people who clean and maintain our streets, snow plows, they make sure the fire hydrants are working, they trim the trees and mow the lawns in the parks. Our engineering department works with people who actually pave the roads or fix the roads. We have a cemetery department. Forestdale Cemetery is a beautiful place, and it is run by the city, and there are a few other smaller cemeteries as well. We are working a lot on climate action and environmental sustainability, and we have a Green Malden program that does that. And again, there are lots of little boards and commissions who get to decide different things. A traffic commission that decides what the traffic signs are, a conservation commission that makes decisions about like water, like the river and drainage and those kinds of things about the landscape, and an energy efficiency and sustainability commission, which I am on, that looks at, again, climate action in Malden. The city is responsible for a lot of licenses, things that you need permission to do, and so here is a good summary of those. Our clerk's office, who you'll hear from briefly. The clerk keeps all of the official records of the city, so that includes like birth certificates. They also oversee elections and voting. Our treasurer is the place you go when you need to pay a parking ticket or a water bill, and the clerk and the treasurer are right on the second floor, so many people have been to their offices. Our assessors department deals with all of the property tax, which has to be updated every year. Our parking department oversees parking meters and parking garages and parking rules about parking wherever you are in the city. And there are also, whenever you want to build something, you have to get a building permit to make sure that the building is safe. And so we have a building department and inspectional services where you can apply for those building permits. And yes, again, there are many boards and commissions that do separate little things. The planning board awards certain types of building permits. The appeals board will allow you to build, even if it is it's slightly different from what the law is in special circumstances. So you can get what's called a variance to do that. We have a historical commission that regulates historic buildings. And we have the License Commission, which is responsible for licensing alcohol and liquor stores, and the Cannabis Control Commission. Excuse me, the Cannabis Licensing and Enforcement Commission is what it's called here. So lots of business and building and other types of licenses and documents. Just 2 more slides. Arts and culture, we have the Malden Public Library, which is a great facility. A recreation department, which has all kinds of yoga classes and basketball programs in our parks and city facilities. We have Urban Media Arts, which does free public access television and other fun things online. We have lots of community festivals that the city supports, which are open to all. And again, boards and commissions who give out grants here, the Malden Arts Council and the Cultural Council. Then to make all of that happen, we have other departments of the city that just handle administration. Our law department, our human resources department, information technology, finance, overseeing how all the money moves, public facilities, all city buildings, and our retirement board, which oversees the retirement savings for city employees. So that is my summary of the work that the city of Malden does. We spend about $200 million a year doing these things across all of these areas, and have hundreds of city employees who work hard every day to make sure that the city is the best that it can be. So I will stop there. Thank you all for your attention. Jody?
Thank you so much, Carrie. I also want to give a shout out to City Councillor Stephen Manelli and Craig Spradford who are here. 咁今日好感謝司議員Christopher Manelli 同埋 Craig 都今晚喺度。同埋咧，多謝晒 Carrie. So thank you so much, Carrie. Next up, we'll invite Dinah from the clerk's office, and let's give her a round of applause. 咁下一位我想歡迎 Dinah 上台，好多謝晒。
Good evening. I just wanted to take a few minutes to introduce myself. My name is Dinah Fajardo. I'm the elections administrator, and I work in the clerk's office. I will be available at the end of the meeting for anybody who would like to fill out vote-by-mail applications, register to vote. I have them both in English and Chinese. And I can also be found in the office during the week if you want to come in on a later date. Thank you.
多謝晒 Dinah，thank you so much。咁下一位咧，我係想歡迎OSPC 嘅 Christina Singh。So next up, please welcome Christina Singh from the OSPCD。
大家好，我叫 Christina 曾浩，那我是摩登市规划与社区发展部门的。那我今天只想跟大家就是快速说明，就是我们的一个部门的方案。那首先来介绍一下我们规划与社区发展部的我们做的一些事情。你可以看到我们其实就是做蛮多，那当然都是像我们名字讲的，就是规划发展，然后呢开发嘛。那规划这方面有什么公园啊、交通、环保，然后有住房等等之类的。那住房这一类呢，有分经济适用房，或是你可能有听过就 affordable housing。然后呢，另外呢有分那个房屋修复。那今天要讲的方案呢，就是房屋修复里面的除迁的那个方案。那先讲一下关于迁，所以1978年前盖的房子呢，都常常会有就是铅的材料在里面，就比如说像油漆啊、水管或水龙头等等材料和零件。然后呢，1978年后呢，联邦政府就禁止在住房内使用就是铅漆，因为他们发现就其实是对就是我们神经啊、器官成长其实都很有伤害的，尤其是高危险群，就是尤其是6岁以下的儿童。那因为这个时间他们其实就成长得很快嘛，那他们吸收的这些铅也其实就是量也蛮大的，所以会造成他们成长上或发育上就很多问题。那另外呢，就是可能生育上也会有问题，就是不管男生或是女生，在怀孕前或是怀孕期间呢，就是如果体内铅量含量很大的话，就很容易流产啊，或者早产。然后呢，之后如果生出小孩，可能以后就是学习方面也会有很多问题。那为什么要跟大家讲这个呢？就是因为在摩登市中呢，就是有75%的住房是1978年前盖的。那它不但存在，而且很频繁，所以我们不知道是哪个房子里面有。对不对？那我们的目标就是想要，因为这边摩登呢，我们很多就是家庭都住在这里嘛，很多家庭有小孩。那对我们来说，就是小孩就是健康长大或安全长大非常非常的重要。所以呢，我们就有一个除铅的方案。那这个方案就是其实重点就是它是你看那个右边的数字啊，就是那是最多可以补助的金额。那9100呢是除铅用的，然后呢5000呢就是想说，我们既然已经要去你的房子，然后去检查了，那我们就也看一下，就是有什么其他的东西是有害的，不管是物质上还是建筑上。然后所以这个5000呢就会就是会管理这个其他的。然后呢，另外也有1500的那个税收抵免。那这个总金额呢，是你也要先申请，然后看就是合格条件， 然后呢，我们的桌位那边有摆摊，就是在门口那里。那如果你觉得有什么问题啊，或是就是有什么任何遗憾啊，或觉得你可能家里有签，都欢迎你们来问我们。然后那个亚美社区发展协会 ACDC 今天也在这里。那如果你想要就是申请表格，然后呢，不然你想要别人就是带你怎么去申请的话呢，我们都可以帮你。好，那就先就讲到这里了，谢谢大家，然后祝大家新年快乐。
Thank you so much, Christina. 多謝晒 Christina. Next, I'd like to welcome Elena Martinez, Malden's Language Access Coordinator. 下一位我想歡迎 Elena Martinez, Malden 個語言翻譯協團員。
Thank you, everyone, for coming. This is a vision. This is a dream for Malden, and actually that's why I'm here. This is my job, to bring you all together, and have meetings in language. The main language is Mandarin Cantonese. I need my headset. I speak Spanish and English. And I need these, and I was listening to everyone speak. So no barriers, no language barriers, and that's what my job is all about. The Language Access Office, I started working back in April, so it hasn't been a year. And I came on board with a plan that was already given to the city, where we need to make a language access plan for the whole city. That includes first responder, police, fire, and I took a step back. Rather than jumping into creating the plan, I took time to research, just to find out exactly who is here, what languages do we speak. I have been in this community for over 20 years, and I had no idea how many languages we had. I thought it was, well, probably we have 30. No, we have 60 or more. On the public schools, right now, we have 60 registered languages. So that means daily we speak those languages. We also have what we call threshold or top languages. And that comes from more than 1,000 people speaking a particular language, like Mandarin, Cantonese, Spanish, Portuguese, and Haitian Creole, all of those. And those are the mandates that we have from this language access plan. So right now, we are, rather than sitting and doing research and waiting to create a plan, we are working the plan. We are finding solutions, so we include you. Everybody that's here, help us create these solutions. I cannot do it myself. I have been training with the Department of Justice as well as all with the Language Access Network in this nation, and learning. A lot of the offices have had this office, the Language Access, since 2014. So there's a lot out there that we can implement, and as Language Access Network, we share documents that we implement the solutions. So language access is what we're doing today, just removing the barriers and finding the solutions to create that. One thing that I can point out, and it's part of my job, these slides should be in Chinese. They were actually translated, but we were not able to upload them. They are available for anybody. This is being transmitted live stream with Uma tonight, and we will go back and put either subtitles in Chinese, and then provide, just all the documentation. That's my job. So make sure that, after we finish the meeting, we have the recording, we go back and make sure that somebody else can, understand what we were talking about today. Now, the language access and the plan, it has 3 mandates. It goes back to 1964. It's no discrimination. And I think, my understanding and the more I have read about this is that it was never spelled out. When you talk about origins, it's all about, cultural. And by cultural, you mean somebody else speaks a different language. So it was never spelled out in there, and it was never addressed. In 2000, there was another mandate by Massachusetts, just trying to, hey, if you receive any federal money, you have to provide language access. And that's why, they did the executive order of 2000. On top of that, I found that given that we have 60 different languages, not everybody understands at the same level. Some people don't know how to read their own language because they learn from their parents, from their grandparents. So reading, speaking, it has a lot of different nuances. So we are applying the Plain Writing Act, which means that we can summarize it for you. And that's what gets translated. If you need the technical part, we can always go back and translate the 25-page document, and that's okay. But we can all start the communication with plain language, so you really understand what we do here, what we have to offer the community. Some of the services that are already available, they have been available since back in August. We use them for the voting season, and so they have been true and tested. We have translation devices, and every department has one, and our staff members who deal directly with the public will have that. Each device has 72 languages, and you can either listen or you can read it. You can read the translation. We have interpreters. We have them here tonight. We work directly with Rosetta Languages, and this is a grassroots experiment and initiative from Malden. A lot of our interpreters and translators are local. So we are giving, everybody who is bilingual in Malden, we are giving them an opportunity to participate and help us. The I Speak poster, which we have here, this one, anytime someone sees this symbol, it means that we have language access available. So it means either we can call an interpreter, we can translate anything for you, we have the devices, and eventually, this is also available for anybody in the community, the nonprofits. We are supporting them too, in the learning curve. What we are learning, we are giving to the community so everybody starts being strong together. We also have the multilingual line, and that is a number that you call, and it has different prompts. Right now, it has 9 prompts. Once you hear your language, you select that, and a live interpreter can answer a question. Where do I pay my ticket? Who can read my water meter? Anything that has to do with the city, you can call that language line, and they will be able to help you. The same thing goes for our departments. We have been training our staff and making all of these available, so when you come to City Hall or when you go to the school department or any of our offices, you will have the help that you need. They can also, if you come in and you don't have an appointment or you haven't set up time for an interpreter, they can call the language line and work with you directly using the interpreters. Now, we have a lot of things in place, then it has been working. Now, we need to expand and we need to create a pool of volunteers. I cannot do this alone, we cannot do this alone. You have to tell me what is it that you need. I know that you speak a particular language, but everybody has a different need, a different requirement from the city, given all the services we have. So we want you to participate. Right now, we are creating language ambassador programs where, if you have particular interest or a situation that we can help mediate or help with the language barriers, I want you to come in and, participate on it. Right now, I'm starting to, just come up with the trainings. Like I said, this is a vision for all of us, and I'm leaving the doors open for participation. We also need translation reviewers, which means that everybody has a different dialect, and even, we have 21 variations of Spanish. So even if I use one word, it might not be the appropriate word for another speaker. So the more native speakers of a language we have in the volunteer pool, we can have, hey, can you, take a look at this flyer? Will it, insult somebody? Or is it the appropriate, the appropriate words that we're using? And that's what the translation reviewers are. So we have a lot of different opportunities that we can create for the city, and that's pretty much what I do every day, looking for opportunities to come together and eliminate the barriers. And in that, we are increasing the opportunities for everybody. We are offering equal opportunities. So when you hear about a grant and you hear in your language, you have the opportunity to apply. When you hear about a service, you can just go in and apply. So we are really committed to doing this. This is what I do day in, day out. Tonight, it's actually the first of a series. We are going to be repeating these meetings with community partners in the different top languages. So we have Arabic, Spanish, Haitian Creole, and we will be just giving an overview about the city and opening the doors for participation. If anybody has any questions, needs an interpreter, or has a situation that has to do with a language barrier, inequalities, please feel free to come to my office, send me an email. We are here for you, okay? So this is the first time, we have this, and I'm happy to lead, and just, find solutions. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Elena. 多謝晒 Elena。咁下一位咧，我係想叫 Josh Lam 上台嘅。So next, I would like to welcome Josh Lam to the stage. Thank you.
大家好，唔好意思啊，我啲竹聲廣東話可能有啲唔係好流利，但係會盡力㗎啦。OK，我叫 Josh Lam， 中文名林志恒。我今日嚟咧就係想解釋一下我哋眾議員 Congresswoman Catherine Clark 辦公室嘅服務，係美國眾議員 Congresswoman Catherine Clark。基本上嚟講咧，我哋個服務就係、如果你遇到咩困難，即係關於聯邦政府有咩困難咧，有咩問題，你哋都可以 call 我哋個辦公室。我哋係會幫你聯絡各種部門啊，我哋啲同事，政府啲同事，幫你揾個方法嚟解決你個問題。如果咧我係自己解決唔到咧，我係會幫你揾到最適合個人喺政府中幫你解決呢個問題嘅。咁例如咧，我哋係好多部門係可以幫到手嘅。我而家咧最常見做得最多咧就係移民局啲事件，即係要申請綠卡出咗咩問題啊？ 呢種事件嚟會幫得手嘅。其他常見嘅事件有IRS 啊，即係每年要交稅啊、Social Security、Medicare 呢啲事件，我哋都可以幫得手。所以咧，如果你哋有咩問題，唔該你哋 call 我，call 我哋個辦公室。我坐住喺後面，我帶咗啲卡片嚟。如果你要攞到我哋個電話號碼或者我 email，咁就係咁多啦。祝大家新年快樂，唔該晒。
Thank you so much. So thank you so much to all our speakers tonight. Tonight is all about the community and helping you understand what services and resources are available for you guys. Before we move to the question and answer portion, I'd like to point out that right outside, National Grid is here. So if you want a discounted rate on your monthly bills, you can go up and apply with them. 咁好，多謝晒Josh Lam。今晚咧，我哋個係想真係好希望可以幫助你哋知道有咩服務可以支持你哋啦。咁我哋有機會俾你問問題先咧，我想介紹出邊咧 National Grid 喺度。咁如果你可以申請如果你填個表咧，咁你可以申請每個月你啲費會可以平啲嘅。Okay, so Malden also really wants to know how to support you better. So now is the time. If you have any questions about anything you've heard so far, we welcome your questions. 咁而家咧，如果你有咩問題咧，我哋想俾個機會，咁你可以問啲問題，唔好怕醜，你請舉手就得㗎啦。你唔使英文，你講中文都得㗎啦。So feel free to ask your question in the language that you prefer, and don't be shy. She's going to repeat it.
Hi, thanks for the question. So the question was about our first-time homebuyer programs. So one of the programs of the Office of Strategic Planning and Community Development is we do offer a first-time homebuyer program through our home program. So our contact information is out here at the front. You'll see us with the LED program that Christina, my colleague, spoke about earlier. We also do have funds available for first-time home buyers who are low income, and we have those income limits available outside as well.
咁有冇其他問題？唔好怕醜喎。Do we have any other questions? Don't be shy. Hi. Oh, yes.
Thank you, and your question is perfectly timed because working with the City Council, we now are offering a lot of different programs throughout the city. We have a summer youth employment program for teenagers from the age of 14 to 21. We also have a Malden Teen Enrichment Center that is located in the senior center that is also available to our students during the summer. Now, if they're not in that age bracket, we also have a number of programs throughout the schools that we use during the summer for kids to be exposed to different things other than games. And that's led by Jenny McGoldrick, who oversees the after-school program during the regular school year. And then, of course, working with people like Mei Hung from the Chinese Culture Connection, we now are working with her year-round. So she's not only doing programming during the school year, but also in the summer. So we hear you, and that's why the City Council, many of whom are here tonight, are starting to do a lot more in addition to sports and gaming. No worries.
So I had an experience with my son who was in ninth grade last year, but by the time that he wanted to sign up, they said that these programs are mostly full. So he wasn't able to get into a program that he wanted. So I would like to see if there is any earlier notification that we can see a cross-section of all the programs that are available, not just from the school. Maybe there is a chance to see all the programs available so he can access them. So last year we weren't able to get into any of the programs.
Yeah, you will start to see that now that we have Elena Martinez on staff. Again, she's our full-time language access coordinator, and she has been working on the very thing that you're talking about, which is to help get out the word early and in different languages so everybody can be a part of what it is we're doing here in the city of Malden. And if that doesn't work, just make sure that the kids are following me on Snapchat, because that's where I post notices as well.
Uh, 多謝，係。係，見到一個問題係咪？
I'm worried about the safety of Asian community, the elderly. There are many elderly Chinese people here living in Malden. They are living alone.
do to help these elderly Chinese or Asian people that are living alone. We know that something happened in Quincy that was very scary, and we don't want to see that happening here in Malden. We want to know what you can do to help us, so we can feel a sense of safety and security.
Thank you. And we're going to do this by coming together on a regular basis to make sure that those lines of communication are open and strong. And so again, as Elena mentioned, this is just the beginning. We plan to do other forums and do other things to make sure that everyone knows that we're in this together. I mean, you know firsthand, you're working with us now. And we believe that's another way to make sure that everybody feels welcomed and safe here, is to have people that make up this great city also working for the government. So I think at last count, Elena, we now have people in City Hall that are speaking over, I think, 15 to 20 different languages now. So by them doing that, they become an ambassador for us, you know, and help, you know, connect us all. So that's the way we're going to do it. The other thing we're doing too, which I think you already know, we're meeting every week, maybe 2 weeks, with all the various managers of our departments to make sure that, you know, our vision is aligned in, you know, getting out into the community so people know that we are a resource for them. So those are some of the ways that we're doing it. But, you know, I want to be honest with you. As I think Carrie mentioned, Council McDonald, we need all of us to be a part of this. You know, it just can't be the council or the mayor's office. Everybody has a stake in what's going on here in our community. That's why I'm so proud of what they've done here tonight, because it's things like this that I think will put us in a better position when it comes to people feeling safe and being welcomed here. Does that answer the question? I know it was long-winded. Do you want to add to it, Carrie? Yeah. I was just going to add, too, we have Mass Senior Action Council here at City Hall once a month to go over what they're hearing and seeing in our different buildings and throughout the community. And that has really helped, I think, also, you know, bridge those lines of communication. So, you know, if there's ever an issue, they're a great resource to work with us on trying to address it. Now let me go to Council McDonald to add to it.
Thank you. I just wanted to add that it is very important, the partnerships that the mayor mentioned with our community organizations are very important for helping the city know where we can be helpful, whether that might be connecting with certain services that people might need, food, medical care, or just understanding when there is a problem in a building or a neighborhood that we can help respond to. I also just want to emphasize how important it is that as city leaders, we are very clear that any acts of discrimination or threats or racism are not tolerated in Malden. And we say that very loudly and very consistently, and we respond very quickly if those things ever seem like they could happen or do happen. That's a commitment that I know I share with my counselor colleagues and other elected officials, and of course the mayor. So I think we can't say that often enough, and work hard through, yes, events like this to show how important it is to make space for every part of our community, no matter where you come from. You should be able to be welcome and feel safe in Malden. Thank you for that question.
I think we have time for one more question, and then there will be opportunities to ask questions later on. 咁我哋而家時間仲有可以問一個問題。咁如果你有多啲問題咧，唔使擔心，我哋都會有機會，咁就你都可以問嘅。So I think we have one more question.
Yeah, thank you. That's a real question. And it predates my time on the city council. But I, as one person said very publicly that I think any racist portrayals are wrong. I think that as counselors, it's also important for us to look at ways we can change the community. So one thing the council did was create a racial equity commission, which is currently meeting. I was just at their last meeting, and we want to give them the support and resources to help us build a plan for what the city needs to do to dismantle racism and build an equitable community. So I think that it is both, yes, being very clear publicly, but it is also following that up with actions and resources. That is what I hope the Racial Equity Commission will help us do. In addition to all of the work that the language access services, there are many aspects of city government policy and resources which are affected by race and inequality, and we need to look at them all. And I'm hoping the Racial Equity Commission will give us a good picture, the whole picture, so that we know that the work that we need to do, and then we can do that work.
Similar to what the council said, I was here when that happened, and we did meet with her. And she did apologize to me, and she also wishes a statement to the community. So, I think she fully understood what happened, regretted it. You'll never see that happen again from what I understood. And so that's what we are here. We're going to make mistakes. I do not think it was deliberate, or targeted. I think it was just something that you did, and you regret that you did. And again, it was a heartfelt apology to us. And, we have since been working together on the things that Councilor McDonald outlined to ensure that it never happens again. I'm not sure. I don't see her here. She could be in the lobby, but you might want to reach out to her directly. You could always do that. I mean, her contact information is on our website. And I could take your information after and see if she would contact you. Yeah. Okay. Please. Can you make it a city council question? All right, go ahead. Yep. Right. Yeah, well, personally, I was very much opposed to it as well, but because a majority of the residents voted for it, we were obligated to undertake a process to allow them. Now, we have a commission, a standing commission, that goes over what a potential vendor or business is trying to do. It's heavily regulated, and we're limited on how many, can be established here in the city. So as to the funding part of it, we just had our very first one open. So, we haven't realized any real revenue from it yet. But I think the council, our office has been very clear about the funding that is derived from that business will go toward education and public health. No, I think, again, what happened, a majority of residents voted yes to allow. And so now we've been working with the city council for the past several years to determine how they should be permitted. And now that we have that figured out, again, we just opened our first one under those regulations. But you're not going to see multitudes of them. It's limited to 5, up to 5. So we have one now. I think all of us understand where you're coming from and have been, working pretty diligently to make sure that they're not near a school or a house of worship. They're sort of on the outskirts, as you see down on Commercial Street, and the second one's going to be on Route 1. So we understand where you're coming from on that. But again, we were required to do something where a majority of the residents voted for it. But if I was supreme ruler of the world, I wouldn't have. But, again, the people spoke. So we're working through what needs to be done now. Oh, yeah, right, yeah. Here you go, right here. This is our appointee to the commission.
I am the mayor's appointee to the Cannabis Licensing and Enforcement Commission. I've been on the board since it started, pre-pandemic. I would like to say there's 5 members, police chief, building commissioner, representative from the mayor's office. I am the official mayor's office representative, somebody who has fiscal controls from the mayor's office, and appointee from the city council. I have to say that we work very, very diligently. Every application, and these applications are that thick, literally that thick. We look at every single page. We ask questions. Every applicant will say, this is way too much information, but it needs to be a very thorough process. Not everybody goes through this process. We've had one that's opened the doors. A lot of them don't make it because we want to make sure that the store that opens does everything that they are obligated to do, that they are for the city of, they are for profit, but they are to help the city of Malden. We don't, we take everything very, very seriously. We look at their finances. They get query checks, which is, criminal offender, recommendations. Everything is absolutely checked out so that when that store opens, you can be sure that they have gotten a very good seal of approval. I also have to say, it's not just us, it's the state cannabis licensing control. And the one that opened went through 3 different inspections before we signed off. That's a lot of work. So as I said, we do take this very, very seriously.
What I could do is I'll give you my card after, and perhaps you could attend one of the board meetings just to see how the process works. Yeah, they are open to the public, so I'll get your contact information after.
Thank you everyone for your questions. If you didn't get a chance to ask your question, there'll be opportunities for that later. 咁多謝大家問你啲問題。如果你仲有問題咧，唔使擔心，我哋一陣都會有機會俾你可以問嘅。咁而家咧，我係想介紹我哋啲社區團體嘅。So next, I'd like to introduce our community groups. I'd like to introduce Diana Zhang, who you just heard from, who is the current president of the Greater Malden Asian American Community. 咁我想歡迎 Diana Zhang， 佢係大 Malden 亞裔社區聯盟個園長嘅。好 ，Thank you, Diana.
Okay. Hello, everybody. You learning a lot of stuff about Malden? I want to thank you all for coming tonight. I want to thank Councilors Carrie McDonald, Karen Colon-Hayes, Elena Martinez, the Language Access Coordinator, Mayor Christensen, and his faithful staff for putting this all together. This is important to GMAC, and it's something that it's really important to us. What's GMAC? Greater Malden Asian American Community Coalition. We started in 2014. At that time, the Asian population of Malden was about 20%, and we thought, well, what could we do to support the Asian community? We sat at a founding member's kitchen table and decided that we wanted to make a difference in the community. We are a small nonprofit organization dedicated to supporting the Asian members of the Greater Malden community. And we want to make a difference. This meeting, this collaboration of Town Hall series is an effort to ensure that language access is available for all city services to all city residents. Did you know that since GMAC's inception, we have made language access a priority in all our work? We work with the mayor's office in developing a language access plan. Your tax bills are bilingual. Public meetings are translated when requested. When you come to City Hall, public officials will provide assistance in your native language. Since 2016, your ballots are bilingual, and GMAC has worked collaboratively to ensure that your right to vote is protected. This coming election, names of all candidates on the ballots will be transliterated, and GMAC working collaboratively to see that the legislation was enacted. When community input was needed on particular projects, such as the recent MBTA bus route study, GMAC reached out to ensure all voices were heard. So when it comes to language access for city services, GMAC gets things done. Now, everybody in this room has been affected in some way by COVID-19. But did you know that during the lockdown, GMAC distributed over 3,000 culturally sensitive meals to those in need? We also distributed over 1,700 home test kits, and we continue to do weekly vaccine outreach. So when it comes to COVID mitigation, GMAC gets things done. This year, the city will hold municipal elections, and many of you may not know what the process is or who's running. GMAC is partnering with Asian Community Development Corporation and the Chinese Cultural Connection to support Get Out the Vote campaigns. We hold community building workshops and candidates forums, and we do this because we believe in informed voters make informed decisions. When it comes to bilingual voters' education, GMAC gets things done. Now, I've talked about GMAC's advocacy work, but we also have some direct services, and some of our participants are in the audience now. First, we have a ping pong program for elders, which is held 4 days a week at the First Parish Church in Malden, which is located at 2 Elm Street, just down the street. We just started a dance program that meets Monday evenings at the Walam Kung Fu School and Tai Chi Academy, located at 124 Ferry Street in Malden. Both these programs are very popular and offer healthy alternatives to gambling, which is unfortunately pervasive in the Asian community. We welcome all to join. We also have 2 youth programs, a youth organizing group focused on leadership and communication skills, and a youth project on Asian wellness focused on mental health programs among Asian youth. These programs are led by a youth coordinator and are held weekly at Malden High School. And now you know what GMAC does and what work we can do that benefits the city. I want to thank you. I want to invite you to join any of our programs, and I want to thank you for coming and hope you'll pay attention to my colleagues because they also do some great work for the city. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Diana. Next, I'd like to invite Mei Hung from the Chinese Culture Connection. 多謝晒 Diana。咁下一位咧，我想歡迎Mei Hung，佢係華夏文化協會嚟嘅。
大家好，我是洪梅，华夏文化协会的主任。很多人可能都不知道华夏文化协会，但是大部分住在摩德人都知道。我们华夏文化协会是1985年就建立了，然后我们1999年是受到摩德的市政府邀请我们到摩德来。因为摩登有这么多的华人，然后我们在这个文化方面跟教育方面的话，有一些隔阂，所以说他希望说我们华夏文化协会能够到摩登来帮助这个华裔或是亚裔能够当个桥梁。然后我们已经在这边已经20几年了，我们在这20几年当中的话，也发展了一些很多的节目。以前华夏在 Reading， 他的节目是对的美国人。尤其是在学校，在这个图书馆或是在博物馆里面去提供一些有关于介绍中华文化的一些节目。但是我们到了摩登来之后，发现摩登有很多的这一些文化上的隔阂的时候，我们就比较专注于对摩登的亚裔或是华裔的支持。所以说我们在这20几年来的话，我们开发了课后班，小容人课后班，就在 BB School。我们现在跟市政府做了很多的合作，我们也很感谢我们摩登的市长对我们非常支持，所以说我们在这个20几年来的话，做了很多一些这个合作。那我们也有礼拜6的周末班。我应该要把我们看看我们这个 slide， 这个是 OK。那个先开始一下，是说我们华夏文化协会的宗旨，它最主要的就是要能够提升我们亚裔的这个。对，就是说种族歧视，或是说对种族之间的互相的互动跟了解，能够让我们在这整个国际上面的话，对于说这个是整个我们现在叫我们自己我们是国际人，而不应该说只有是中国人或是美国人，就是说能够让我们有在种族方面的话有更多的包容跟协调。那我们希望说能够借这个机会的话，就是说华夏提供了很多的节目来帮助大家能够有更多的认识。那刚刚提到就是说我们提供了很多的节目是对着美国人来传扬中华文化。那来到摩登之后，我们就比较大量的在做一些比较帮助我们华裔能够保存我们中华文化，同时是双向的，能够也对美国的文化有更多的了解。我相信我们大家都知道说入乡或是入境随俗是一个很重要的。很多人就是我们的尤其是华人来到不管在什么世界每一个地方，我都是以我们自己为主，我们都会叫美国人外国人，或是说来到美国的话，就是还是讲中国话，然后吃中国饭。那这个是很好的，因为保存我们中华文化是很重要。但是一方面的话，也要帮助我们自己要去了解美国文化，能够让人家知道说我们对社会是关注的，然后我们是在乎这个整个这个社会是有所贡献的，所以让人家能够对我们有所尊重，然后同时也 增加我们这个华人的社会地位，这个是双向的一个互动。然后我们现在的节目的话，就是说除了这个东西之外，我们有每年的话庆祝中国这农历的新年，其实在2个礼拜前的话，我们就庆祝了就在Modern 的 High School 里面去，非常的多人来参加，这个是每年我们在Modern的一个很大的亮点。然后再来的话，就是我们有这个晚会筹款晚会是在募款，因为有很多的工作是免费的节目，所以像我们里面的很多员工的话，这个薪水是从这边出来的。我们每年还有乒乓球赛。现在今年已经进入了去年已经进入了7年还是第8年了，然后我们也有100-200个人来参加这个活动。我们还有中西文化讲座项目，这个讲座项目的话，专门是真的是在为着我们尤其是华人的家庭，能够来帮助他们自己能够对美国的文化有更多的了解，所以说他能够帮助他的孩子能够有增进他们对小孩子的了解跟认识，来对他们做更好的支持，而不会带成有一些文化或是说代沟的现象。现在的话我们现在每个月都有一个讲座，然后这个讲座的话，包括怎么样投票怎么样参与社会的一些活动，还有跟我们社区的话有很多的这个其他的团体来做互动，所以能够让大家有更好的交流。我们华夏其实建立了一个平台，能够让不管是美国人跟中国人都有一个互动，或者中国人与中国人之间，或者说了解一下当地的一些活动，这个是就在这个环境里面的话都可以去接触到了。当然就是说要怎么样去了解，像今天晚上这个活动的话，也是像是说中西文化讲座交流的一个部分。我们还有这个 Youth Leadership Program 这个节目的话，是对一个年轻人，我们是要让年轻人，就是尤其高中的学生，让他们知道说自己对生命的一种使命感，或者说他们对生命能够有更多的了解与认识，然后他们能够借着这个机会，能够去帮助一些比较小的孩子去督导他们，像个大哥哥大姐姐一样的一个立场，能够锻炼他们自己本身的一种在这个交流的一个立场上，或是说在他们怎么在整个对整个世界这个宇宙有什么样的贡献，或者他对自己生命的重要是在哪里，能够在这个世界上能够有一个立脚点，那要让他知道说他自己的长处在哪里，所以就在这个节目里面的话，他们能够发挥他自己的强项。再来的话，我们有一个小聋人课后班，刚刚已经提过了。我们是专门是教小孩子中国有中文的，还有一些比较有关于中华文化的一些内容。那这个节目的话，也是跟市政府合作，然后大部分的孩子的话是有一半是亚裔，有一半是非亚裔。有一些家长他们认为说他们的小孩子是很重要，必须要让他们学中文，所以他们都会让他的孩子来参加我们的节目。这个暑期班，我们刚刚有提到，就是说我们华夏有提供一些暑期班。那这个暑期班的话，我们是从6月底到可能7月底或是8月中旬的时候，今年的时间还没有定，所以如果说你想要知道的话，可以关注我们。我们外面的话有一些传单，可以跟我们联系。我们还有一些节目是还有周末的中文课。周末的中文课，很多的这些社区里面的话，都是有中文学校，是在礼拜天。我们华夏在Modern的话是用礼拜六的节目，礼拜六的时间，也是在 BB School， 我们租了这个 BB School 的学校空间来 run 我们的课Saturday 的 program。那里面除了中文课之外，还有艺术课，还有小提琴、钢琴，还有围棋，还有其他的节目。如果有兴趣的话，可以来了解一下。我们还有读书会，因为我们觉得说，让小孩子培养小孩子念书是很重要的一环。那有些家庭的话，因为没有这个机会去练习，帮助小孩子怎么样去培养读书的习惯。那这个节目的话，是帮助我们小孩子家长跟小孩子一起念书，能够让我们提升我们对这个念书的一个习惯。这个是非常重要的在学习方面的过程。我们还有这个Meet Up Group。所以说，如果说你是新移民或是旧移民， 然后你有一些事情，或者说想要了解，或是想要跟大家分享，或者是新移民他来到这边的话，可能对一些环境不大了解。我们的每一个月的话，都有一个见面的机会也可以来参加。这个节目都是免费的。我们华夏有几位非常非常优秀的team， 就是我们的员工的团体，大家都对这个社区非常非常的关注，很关心。然后我们付出我们大家每一个人的强项，能够对我们社会有更多的关注。那希望说你们有机会的话，可以来参加这个活动。然后，其实我们这个微信群里面的话，就因为在这个疫情当中，有些人是没有办法参加我们的这些网络上的一些活动，所以我们特意的建立这个服务群。这个服务群一开始的时候，我们只有差不多7、8个人开始，然后1年之后还不到1年的话，就有差不多好几百个人，现在已经超过了600个人，可能有差不多有600个人。所以说已经建立了第2群。因为一群的这个微信的话，只能有最多是500个人。然后我们也有一个老人的一个项目，这个老人的项目的话，就是说为了要预防我们有些年纪大一点的人，他们生活比较孤独一点，所以我们每个月的话就会提供一些有关于老人一些活动的话，我们到他的社区里面，他们的公寓里面去，或是我们其实在下一个月当开始的话，也会到老人中心去提供一些，这些活动都是免费的。就这样子，谢谢大家。我现在就要在还没有结束之前，就先感谢市政府。我觉得市长非常支持，还有我们的 City Councilor 非常非常对我们这亚裔的这个华裔的这个团体非常的照顾。那我感谢今天他们来支持这个活动。那我希望说，像你们今天晚上参与的话，也是让他们知道说，你们很关心的，然后你们有什么问题的话，他们是打开胸怀，也来要了解说你们大家的需要的时候。他会尽量去帮我们解决问题，所以你们的参与的话是给他们带来非常大的鼓励，所以希望以后大家都来参与，而且我们希望说待会的话，大家可以去 sign up 一下，说如果说你想要去 tour 这个 City Hall 的话也是可以的。我刚刚还有2样东西没有忘记了提的，就是说我们现在正在跟这个新的这个警察的局长。跟他们了解一下，说我们要怎么样能够对这个社区的一些安全的话有更多的关注，然后我们会跟他安排一个时间，可能会去警察局里面的话做一个讲座，然后如果大家有兴趣要去那边去做一个了解的话，也是可以一起来参加。我们这个节目是为了我们华裔或者亚裔的人来开发的。还有就是说，我们也跟那个 IRS 做一些合作。然后现在的话，就是说有一些因为 COVID 提供的一些福利。那如果说有些人他不知道要怎么去申请的话，我们会在下个月的时候，其实现在已经2月份了，是在2月还没有确定时间，可能这2天就会确定了。会再做一个 Zoom 的一个活动，能够让大家了解说你要怎么样去争取这个 credit。如果说你还没有申请的话，你是可以的。如果你家庭有小孩子的话，可以有好几千块钱，或是说有什么样的你的年龄段可以去申请这个 credit。然后同时，如果说你是在美国是现在还是没有身份的，或是没有这个绿卡、没有公民的，你也可以申请一个号码，可以让你在工作的情况下的话，还可以去报税。这样的话，提供你以后有更大的机会去变成申请你的绿卡或是公民。所以我现在就大概讲到这些，然后谢谢大家。如果说你们需要的话，可以在外面问我们。谢谢。
Thank you so much, May。多謝晒 May。咁最後咧，我想歡迎Angie Liu， 佢係亞美社區個發展協會。Next, I'd like to welcome the Executive Director of ACDC, Angie Liu。
好，大家好我尽量简短了因为我知道时间也不早了大家可能肚子饿了，或者想要回家了所以我叫刘安琪，我是亚美社区发展协会的行政主任。那今天在我旁边呢是 Emma Ishida， 她是负责我们青少年项目的员工。那我首先简单介绍一下亚美社区发展协会。我们简称叫 ACDC， 我们做的项目。 那我们是由1987年在波士顿的唐人街，由一群热心的社区人士所发起的。那但是呢，过去10年来，因为亚裔移民大家都知道，就慢慢从波士顿扩张到摩顿还有昆士呢。那所以我们也逐渐把我们的业务服务方面呢，来扩展到摩顿来。那在摩顿，我们主要的项目这几年来着重于几样。第一项是致力于帮助摩顿市发展建造可负担性的房屋，也就是所谓的平价房屋。那所以我们目前正跟市政府合作的是位于这个 downtown 不远的213号 Main Street。就是以前是那个救世军的那个服务中心呢。那我们现在正在研拟把它开发成大概20户左右的可负担性房屋所以这可能2-3年后会完成。那之前有人提问到这个有没有什么辅助能够帮助首次买房子的人那我们虽然是一个社区非福利机构，我们没有太多的资金可以补助，但是我们所提供的是我们每个月都有开这个首次买房学习班，每个月都有。那但是这有4堂课呢是使用中文来开课的。那外面呢有这个传单，这个2面的传单前面是我们的简介，但是后面就有这个我们2023年整年的这个首次学习班的这个时间表，所以你有兴趣的话可以报名。那除了首次买房学习班，我们也有就是教你简单的财务或是 credit 这一种的就是如何去处理你的自己的个人理财呢？那我们有那个小额的这个储蓄配对的计划，所以欢迎我拿外面传单跟我们的员工请假。那之前那个 GMAC 也有提到说这几年来我们每个月大概6、7月、7、8月的时候都会办一系列的所谓的公民讲座那公民讲座呢，这过去2年来都是线上的，但是今年也许会办就是实体的。那之前呢你都听到就是来参加这些公民的讲座，或是学习如何更投入、更参与摩顿的一些市政，来关心一些事务呢是非常重要的。那我觉得这也是凝聚亚裔的力量一个很重要的一部分。所以每次通常有地方选举的时候，我们这几个社区亚裔机构呢，也通常都会联合举办那个候选人的辩论政见讨论会所以那个通常是秋天的时候，所以敬请期待。那最后呢，刚刚也有人也有家长提问到说，就是青少年呢，你的孩子有没有什么，譬如说课后的program 能够参加呢？那我们是有的我们在唐人街有一个 program， 但是在摩顿也有另外的。那我现在会请Emma 来就是讲解我们的青少年的这个领袖培育计划，那还有如何申请。但是他是日本裔，所以他将用英文来讲解。
Cool. Hi, everyone. My name is Emma Ishida, and I oversee the ACDC Malden Youth Programs. A-Voice is a youth leadership program for high school students to build meaningful relationships with peers and to become advocates for their community. We work on leadership, public speaking, and project planning skills. In the past, youth have done projects around language access, public transit access, pedestrian safety, and this year we're doing environmental justice. Last year we did a presentation on public transit in this room. Yeah. They've presented their project to city council, local organizations, school boards, and a lot more. Our school year program runs from October through June. We meet weekly on Wednesdays, so we just met today after school. We also run a 6-week summer program from July to August where teens learn about Asian American history and do a project around art and storytelling. We do no video games, just so that you would like to join. Additional volunteer opportunities include our 3-day youth-led Kung Fu Film Festival in August called Films at the Gate, held at the Chinatown Gate, as well as our Saturday Play program, which is youth-led play programming for families and children in Chinatown. The Kung Fu Film Festival in August, it accepts high school volunteers, and then Saturday Play accepts volunteers from 7th grade to 8th grade and above. There's more information about all of our programs on our website at asiancdc.org. We also have flyers right outside with my email, also our website, and also our Instagram. Thank you.
对不起哦，我刚刚漏掉了一项，因为之前那个 Christina Tang 从市府中心，她有讲到这个去除有害的铅漆的这个市政府的补助。那因为这个可能也许有一点复杂，所以如果你觉得你需要中文的协助的话，我们 ACDC 是有跟市政府合作。所以就是，如果你需要中文的协助的话，你可以来找我们。我们外面也有中文的传单，就是关于这个除去铅漆的这个项目。还有我们外面也有那个我们职员的名片，你都可以索取。谢谢。
Thank you both. 多謝晒你哋兩位. So now we'd like to open it back to you guys if you have any questions for any of our community groups. 咁而家你哋如果想俾個機會問我哋啲唔同啲團體，如果有問題可以而家請問佢哋嘅，又唔使怕醜。Any questions for any of our community groups? Thank you for coming. 多謝晒你哋。So if there aren't any other questions, I would encourage you to, there's food outside and you can mingle with everyone. 咁如果你哋冇問題咧，咁你哋出邊都係有啲食物嘅。但係我哋走之前咧，攞啲食物之前咧，我哋想再歡迎Carrie McDonald 上台，佢會咧俾啲溝通資料俾你哋。咁如果你哋都有咩問題咧，你哋都可以知道點樣同佢哋聯絡啦。So before you guys go get some food and head home for the night, I'd just like to welcome back Carrie McDonald, who will share some contact information and to really encourage you to reach out to City Hall in the future if you have any questions and how you can do so.
Thank you all so much for being here. This is the phone number that you can call during City Hall hours, and you will be connected to someone who speaks one of our primary languages. So that does include, I'm looking to Elena, this line does speak Cantonese and Mandarin. So you can call this number for city services. We also have a web page about language access on the city's website, and you can look there for updates. So thank you for being here, and thank you, Jody, for hosting us tonight. You did a great job. Thank you to my colleagues and to the mayor for being here, and that is the end. Thank you.
Before you guys leave, just make sure you guys return your headsets. 咁你哋走之前，如果你哋用嗰個翻譯機，記得可以喺個